scrape this off. Oh my gosh, it's freezing. It's literally like 25 degrees. I'm not made for 25 degrees. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Whew. Let me turn the heat all the way up. Let me get my seat heater on. Jesus Christ. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, and today is a food service rotation day, and I'm about to take y'all through the whole day. Y'all are gonna see what I do, what it's like to be a dietetic intern at a food service location, and I'm gonna show you all the ins and outs. I'm gonna show you what I do basically every single day, and it's gonna be awesome. Right now, it is about 6:45 and I am headed to work. Yes, I do have to get there at about 7 o'clock every day, but I am actually fortunate because I do not have to make the 1 hour commute like a lot of my classmates do. Because if you don't know, my name is Victoria. I go to the University of Alabama and I am a nutrition student in their coordinated program. And if you don't know what a coordinated program is, it basically coordinates your master's classes, which you need a master's degree to become a registered dietitian, with your supervised practice hours, which you also need 1,000 of those to become a registered dietitian. So it basically coordinates it for us, and this whole semester I've both been taking clinical nutrition classes and food service classes. And the first half of the semester I did my clinical internships, my clinical rotations, and now the second half of the semester I'm finishing out my food service rotations. And so most of us, because in Tuscaloosa there's only a couple hospitals and there's really like not that much room, like only 1 to 2 people can go to a location, so most of us end up getting sent to Birmingham. But I am fortunate because I grew up in Birmingham, and so I can just come here like the night before and stay, so I don't have to get up at like 4:30 a.m. To drive all the way to Birmingham. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna drive to work. Well, I say work because I don't get paid to do this. I'm actually paying the university to do this, but it's all good because that's what I need to get to the career that I want. And I'm just so excited because it's almost done. Like, I just have this week and then next week, and then I'm done with food service like forever, unless I get a job in that area someday. But also something that I want to show y'all today is, like, I feel like a lot of people have a lot of negative connotations about food service, or a lot of people just get really scared about going to food service and like doing it because people have just horror stories of like being stuck in the serving line and serving food all day. But it's really not so bad, and the experience is really what you make it. And so today I'm going to show y'all what I do in my food service experience. And gosh, I still cannot get over how cold it is right now. Like, seriously, can y'all see the frost on the roof? I mean, it's just literally insane. But it's okay because we're warm now, we're bundled. And I will say I am a little bit terrified for actually being in the kitchen because they have told me, they have warned me that the air conditioning in the kitchen is not good. The heating in the kitchen, it's not good. So if it's cold outside, that means that it's likely gonna be almost just as cold in the kitchen, which means I'm gonna be probably keeping this coat on all day, despite the fact that I have a very cute long sleeve shirt on under my scrubs. Y'all may not even get to see it because it may be literally frigid down there. And still, all the ice has not melted off my windshield right now. But like I said, it's all good. We're gonna go, we're gonna get this day started. And the best thing about starting at 7 a.m. is that you finish at like 3 p.m. and then you have the whole afternoon ahead of you. Because this morning, literally all I did, I woke up at 6, I got dressed, I made breakfast, and then I got in the car. And so I didn't get to work out or anything. But the good thing is you get off early when you start this early. So yeah, I'll see you when I get there. Okay, I just got here. It is a little bit of a walk from the employee parking lot to the actual entrance, but I'm gonna go into the building and go straight back to the kitchen where I'm gonna start my day off, usually by calling out the trays for the breakfast line so that those can be filled, put on the trays, and then taken up to the patient rooms. And then after that, I will do the tickets for lunch. Usually there are like a million birds chirping in this tree, but I guess it is too cold for them today and they are probably elsewhere. The first task of my day is always to put my hair up so it is not in my way. So that's what I'm doing before I even touch or get near the food. We have 2 serving lines, and right now all the bigger carts, like the bigger units, are getting served first, and so I'll probably be last. So I'm just waiting my turn to see who can open up for me first. Okay, right now it's taking them a little bit longer to get all the trays for like the regular floors together. So while I'm waiting, I'm gonna be in the office basically checking the printer, and we get these like pieces of paper that they send in from the floors that say like, you know, this patient is like was NPO, nothing by mouth, and now they have a diet, or now they're clear liquid. And so then we have to go ahead and like hurry up and make a new like tray ticket for them. And this is what like the tray tickets look like. So we circle like what their diet is, like all that type of thing. I'll show that in more detail. But so I have to go and check the printer and see whatever comes in. So that's what I'm gonna do while I'm gonna wait to load my breakfast trays. And I always keep a pen in my pocket because pens tend to disappear around here. So now this ticket is actually for one of my carts because I do the units, which is like the CICU, the SICU, MICU. So I need to go actually make a tray for them myself because this is for my cart. Okay, this patient actually already has a tray, but they just have it for a more advanced diet. So I just have to change some of the things that are on the tray, take off some of the seasonings, and they can't have this or this. Okay. Now this is the part where I actually bring the tray over to the food line and get mine served, but I don't want to show patient information, so I've just paused it here, but y'all can understand that I just call out the names of the different diets, they fill it for me, and yeah. Okay, finished serving breakfast, which was super quick because everybody got done at kind of the same time with their cards, so then they could help me with mine because I have 4, and so we all kind of worked together and it went by really super quick. So now what I'm going to start doing, even though it's only like 7:40 in the morning, so I've been here for 40 minutes now, 40 minutes of breakfast. Now I'm gonna start making the tickets for lunch. So again, we put these tickets on every tray, and so I'm gonna go ahead and start looking on here and seeing what everybody's diet is, what supplements they have, everything like that for lunch, and then put it on here. And it's basically like you choose from which diet that they have, and then if there's any like specific beverage that they ask for, desserts that they ask for, anything like that. And then this is like the most important category because this is like what supplements they have, anything like that. You make the comments, you put the patient's name and date of birth because we have to double check when we take it to the room, and then of course their room number, and then you put that on the tray, which goes on the cart. And then any that have a altered texture like mechanical soft or puree go on this red ticket because you have to take extra care for it, and also anybody with allergies goes on the red tickets. I'm going to start with the CICU, which is the cardiac ICU. So most of these are like heart healthy diets, so it's usually pretty easy. Also, a lot of like these units, like the ICU units, will have a lot of people who are on tube feeds, so they don't need actual diets, which also takes out a lot of people. Okay, that is the cardiac ICU done. So now we're going to move on to the medical ICU, the MICU. And also while I'm in the office, I'm basically in charge of the printer as well. So if anything comes in over on that guy right there, my nemesis basically, because they send so much stuff, then I need to get up and make that ticket while I'm doing these. Wow, everybody on MICU is on tube feeds. And sometimes when they have a tube feed, they do also have a diet order, but I don't think anybody at these does. I love the people that work here so much. Seriously. Oh, liquid diet with an Ensure high plus protein. The printer strikes again. This is the most time that I spend in this office. Later in the day, I'll go back to my preceptor's office, but this is like the main area where they do, like where they write the ticket. So this is the only really time of the day that I'll spend a lot of time here. And also it is indeed cold down here. Oh my gosh, this is not coming off. The jacket can come off. This is probably not coming off today, but it's okay. I'll show you a little sneak peek of the shirt I'm wearing underneath. It's super cute. It's my favorite striped shirt. I love her. She makes me happy. Even if you can't see her, she makes me happy on the inside. Boom, neuro ICU done. Okay, so I've moved locations from the main office where kind of everybody goes to now just my preceptor's office, and I have this little chair that I sit in right next to her desk, and basically this is where I'm gonna sit to basically do any of my assignments. So today the main things that I'm working on is one sustainability assignment that's basically like, what sustainable practices does your facility have? You know, do they use local food resources? How do they prevent wasting food? Things like that. And so I have to do a whole paper on that. So I kind of I'm gonna go through the binder that they have, because they have a student binder, which is so nice because not all facilities have that. And I'm gonna look through what they have there before this afternoon when I have time to actually sit down with my preceptor and ask her questions about it. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. That's the main assignment that I'm working on. So I'm gonna get on my computer, I'm gonna get the binder, and I'm gonna kind of prep for that assignment for this afternoon very quickly. All right, y'all, assignment is prepped for and it's time to get back out there. What I'm gonna be doing now is just going ahead and sitting by the printer again, seeing if anything comes in and anything that I can help with. And then after that, around, it's only about 8:30 right now, but about 9:30 is when they start lunch things. And so lunch is the main event of my day because that's the thing that I'm here for the whole day. So I make everything from the lunch tray tickets to the trays to getting the food on the trays, everything like that. But that doesn't start until 9:30. So I'm just gonna kind of see what I can do around here for the next hour before I start loading the trays up, and I'll show y'all that whole process. But this is the day so far. It's honestly pretty chill. It's a lot of office work, and even though like clinicals was much more interesting for me and maybe a little bit more enjoyable, this I actually have time to do my school assignments, which is so nice and like such a privilege, honestly. So I really don't mind it at all, and I'm enjoying it. So yeah. All right, everyone, officially welcome to the kitchen. This is where I set my carts up to set up my trays. And the first thing I do is the non-cold items because, again, we have a few hours since lunch is actually served. So first, I'm starting with the condiments. So this depends on what kind of diet each person has. So for this one, it's going to be either a heart healthy or a 2-gram sodium because instead of salt, they get the perfect pinch. And then everybody gets some type of sugar, though the carb controlled diets will get like the Splenda. And then everybody gets pepper. So those are the 3 main condiments. Breakfast, they get more, but that's the main gist of it. So I do this for every single tray, and then it's time to start adding the other things, which is where I sew to this. And this is basically how we tell what is on each tray. So the things that I'm adding first are going to be the things like the cakes, like the angel food cake or red velvet cake. And also for like the full liquid and the clear liquid, I'll be adding like the vanilla puddings, the gelatin and stuff like that. And then on the tray line, that's when I'll get the rest of the stuff. And this is the cooler from which I get everything. So we have cranberry juice, apple juice, orange juice. We have applesauce. There's the gelatin and the pudding that I was talking about. Under here is going to be like your thickened liquid. So with people with dysphagia, they need things like nectar thickened or like honey thickened. So that's where those are. And then these are the teas, which I already made for today. Put them all in styrofoam cups. And then we have milks. People request cereal. And these are the oral nutrition supplements. So we have Ensure High Protein Plus, which is probably the most popular. Then we have regular Ensure High Protein. We have the Glucerna, which is usually for like diabetics and the carb controlled diets. Then we have Nepro with Carb Steady, which is usually for like renal problems. And then we have more High Plus, and then these are like the kinds of sodas that the hospital has. So they're all Shasta. So if somebody wants a Coke, we get them the cola. If they want a Sprite, we get them the twist. And then like, I think this is supposed to be like root beer. I'm not totally sure, but this is where I get all my things from. Another big part of food service is doing a lot of like sanitation and inspection type things. And so like one thing that I've had to do is like track the refrigerator temperatures, and like these aren't mine, but a different day I had to do this, and this is like for the fridge that keeps the units and stuff. And then there's also big fridges like across like the kitchen that have other stuff that I also had to track. We also have 2 feed orders for every floor, so now I'm going to go through and see which floors need what kind, and we've already got them from the closet. Now I'm going to go get out the red velvet cakes and the angel food cakes for the day. Most of this tray are actually regulars, so pretty much everybody is going to get a red velvet cake on this part. And then I have 2 people for, well, only 1 person for angel food cake on this tray. And gosh, these look so yummy. Also, I had to go get my coat because out here it is so cold. It's like frigid. Like I wish I had like, oh, it's so cold. It's so cold. Now I'm just taking these late trays up to these patients because they either had their diet changed or didn't get one in the first place. I have to be honest, I don't take the food very often, and I got a little bit lost looking for the surgical ICU and the NICU, or the neuro ICU, but I found it and it was okay. Okay, I'm now starting to load my next tray, and the first thing that I do is I flip through to see if anybody is on paper, which means that they are like cross contact, like don't go in their room, or if they have one of the red sheets that I showed y'all, because then I do this. This is what we put on their trays to make sure that they know that we have them covered, and that we know that they have an allergy or a specific texture difference, and that we paid attention to that. So after I put down all the allergen sheets in the paper trays, I start by putting napkins and straws before I put on all the silverware. And after that, it's time for me to actually put the tickets of what type of food is on each tray so that I can refer to that when I'm putting on the gelatin, when I'm putting on the teas, when I'm putting on what type of condiment, when we went over earlier, and everything like that. And then it's time for one of many bathroom breaks because I am trying to stay hydrated. And fun fact, when it was dark in the mornings earlier, this used to be the first time that I would see the sunlight during the day, which is so sad, but now it's just dark at nighttime, which is a little bit better, but it still feels like the day is gone so quick. Walking around on the floors definitely warmed me up a bit, so now y'all can see my scrubs in there full. I'm actually really lucky because this place actually has the same color scrubs for like people in like dietetics that the last hospital that I was in, so I did not have to repurchase. Still rocking the Caribbean blue, and this is my favorite long sleeve ever. I don't know if it's giving, I don't know if you guys like it, but it makes me really happy inside. So yes, I'm in the nice bathrooms right now that they call them, where not many people go. Basically this area like right out here used to be like I guess the main entrance, but it's not anymore, and so now like nobody comes over here. So when I was getting my tour on the first day, the dietitians told me, they said these are the nice bathrooms and it's worth it to walk down the hall around the corner to get to them. And so that is what I do, and it's a nice little break in my day, gets me some more steps. And yeah, it's about 10 o'clock right now, which means we are about to start serving lunch in a little bit, but I haven't finished 2 of my trays yet. So here I am starting with the same process that I did on those other trays that we talked through a minute ago. So I put down all my napkins, straws, silverware, tickets, and now I'm moving on to putting in the things that they requested, like colas and things like that. And I do have to move these heavy carts, and it is so difficult because they truly have a mind of their own, and having to push these across the kitchen is so difficult for me, but I get through it every day. And this is usually what my little setup looks like. So I'm surrounded by 5 different carts for all the ICUs, and this is when I bring over all of the teas that I made, and I have to put them on every single tray. So it is a lot of process of like pulling them out, pushing them back in. I'm on my feet for a lot of the day, but it honestly goes by really quick because you really have specific tasks that you have to be doing, and you know it, and they look awesome after. All right, it's about 10:45. I just finished loading my lunch trays, and so now I'm gonna wait until 11 is when we start actually loading up the carts with food, and then they're gonna take them up to the units, and then after that I get my lunch break. So it'll be about another hour and 15 minutes, and so yeah, I'm just gonna wait till it's my turn to start loading up. And yeah, also, even though it's food service, we still have to use how to use the charting system here, the Epic system. So this is only the second one that I've used. I don't remember what my last hospital was, but this is an older version of Epic, but I did have to do a whole training on that before coming here. So we do get to see like stuff about the patient and their health stuff, but it's really just based, like food service is really just like getting them the food and the supplements that they need according to their diet.
Yeah, I already got no food.
3 mechanicals. Yeah, one of them is a cardiac, one of them is a diabetic, but I don't know if that makes a difference. Yes, 3 mechanicals, and then 3 regulars. Just got done with patient lunch, so now it's time to go eat my lunch, and I am so excited because I'm starving. And one of the best things about working at this hospital in particular is they do give free lunches to students, which really just makes my day, and not everywhere has that, so that's really awesome. All right, I just finished lunch and I was getting kind of warmed up, but now that I'm back in the office, like it's even colder in here than it is out there. I am just like freezing, and like my laptop I just put on my lap and it's frigid like through my pants. And by the way, I'm not even just wearing my scrub pants, I'm wearing leggings under my scrub pants. So like I'm layered today and I'm still freezing. They were not lying about the AC not being great. But I just ate. I had the most delicious lunch. This is like my favorite day. And Tuesdays, they have that brownie that, oh my gosh, is like, it's just so delectable. It's warm, it's gooey, it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. And every day, like they give me like 2 servings. So every day I have stuff to take home, and then I can warm it up in the microwave like for dinner. I mean, for dessert after dinner, not for dinner. But I finished lunch. It was so yummy. And now what I'm doing is I'm waiting for my preceptor to come back in. I hope that she's not too busy this afternoon, because I was really hoping to like ask her some questions about some of my assignments, but I'm not sure how much time I'll have with her. And like last week she was sick for a couple days, so I haven't really gotten that much time to do assignments with her recently. So I might try to start on something that I can kind of do by myself, and then hopefully she'll like get done with whatever she's doing, and then be able to answer some of my questions, which I really like. Preceptors, I am so appreciative of them because they don't get paid. Like she doesn't get paid to have me here. And even though like eventually like by the end of a rotation, I feel like as a student you can kind of like help out and like do things and like be another staff member, at the beginning it's like you're such a burden because they don't know where to put you, they have to train you, they're not getting paid to train you, and it's so difficult. So I'm really appreciative of her, and I never want to like, you know, make her like, I don't know, I never want to take time out of her day, so I'm kind of bad about asking, but she does give me time to like be able to sit here in the office. Like the fact that I have the time to like sit here in this chair is like unfathomable. Like it's amazing. So I'm gonna start doing something that I think I could do by myself, and then hopefully she'll come in and answer some questions. And it's about 12:30 now, so I took like a 30-minute lunch break, and because the carts go up to the units like between 11 and 12, so it's 12:30 now. I'll probably do work for about an hour until 1:30, and then I'll start loading up the dinner trays. And I won't be here for the service of the dinner trays because I leave at 3, but so stay here for an hour, then I'll do the trays for about an hour, and then I'll leave around 2:45 or 3. So yeah, let's get to work. And here's an example of what some of our assignments look like. So for example, this one is about service quality. So basically what it wants us to do is basically do some like measuring patient satisfaction or doing like meal audits, tray accuracy audits, to see like what can be improved. So like things like that about like how everything works. And then we have this one over here, which is a mock interview one, which has a lot more to do with like the HR of it all, and like what the managers do, what their roles are, everything like that. And then I will have to like actually do like a pretend interview, like as if I was applying for a job here. And then another one is on sustainability. So this one is like asking, and this is the one that I was wanting to do today. Basically, it wants you to like talk about anything that this facility does that's relating to sustainability. So whether they use local ingredients, if they're like, you know, preventing waste, using non-toxic products, like anything like that. What is your facility doing, and like how can you promote it? We also at our last food service rotation had to do like a in-service where we like taught the staff about something. And so I say last food service because this is actually my second food service rotation. Last semester I did my first one, and then now I'm doing my second one. So I'm done with this in like a week and a half, and then that will be my last food service like ever. Like I'll be totally done with it, which is super exciting. Whereas clinical, I did my clinical 1 this semester, so next semester I have another clinical 2. But that's okay because I like clinical, so that one's exciting. But yes, this is the end of my food service. Those are the types of assignments that we have to do for the actual like rotation class, because we have a professor who oversees the class. So the preceptor is the person who works at the facility who oversees us, but then we have a professor for the class who does assignments to keep us on track and learning what they want us to learn. And then I'm in another food service class that is actually online this year, but that doesn't really matter. But I'm in another food service class that does a lot more of like food service equations, other thing that we would see on the RD exam. But it kind of lines up. So like this was like kind of a mock interview showing what HR does. In my other food service class, y'all will probably get to see today, I have one assignment that is like basically doing like a plan of improvement. Like let's say an employee under you is like not really doing what they're supposed to. I had to like make up a pretend plan of like how to help them. And now I have to do a pretend video where I have to have somebody pretend to be this person, and I have to basically like terminate them, like fire them. And I have to go through like 3 different scenarios and make a video out of it and then post it for the class for my peers to evaluate me, and then I'll evaluate them. But y'all are kind of lucky because I think I'm doing that this afternoon. But yes, gosh, not really sure that I am looking forward to that, but it's okay. Anything to get me closer to the end of the semester is a good thing. And we're so close. Like we just have like Thanksgiving in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, which is insane. But yes, okay, I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, I've been assigned a task, and it's to revamp this condiment guide because now they don't use Miss Dash, they use different brands of different things. So that is what I'm doing now on Canva, is I am making this new guide of what to put for each of the diets. All right, y'all, I am busting out of here for the day. Tuesday is over, and we're one step closer to being done with this rotation, which is so exciting. But today was a good day. It was a busy day. I cannot believe that it is still so cold outside, and I am about to go home. I'm gonna do a workout. Probably gonna have to wear leggings and a long sleeve, which is, you know, not the most ideal, but it's okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it done. Y'all will get to see a little bit of my pretend firing somebody. And yeah, that was all of my day. Let's get in the car and go home. And also, because again, I'm in Birmingham right now and I have classes Mondays and Wednesdays, I am gonna have to drive back home to Tuscaloosa tonight, which is about an hour. So that's also in our future. Hi Jamie, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. Cut. So I just wanted to talk to you about a few things today that I think you might know what I'm referring to. Wait, I hate that actually.
I'll remember that.
Wow.
Well, to reiterate the problems, over the last few months, you have been abusing your sick time, failing to call in to let us know that you will be absent. This isn't in the script, by the way. This is just going to be improv. Beginning with the goals, clock back in. The resources that I have for you. And because these issues have persisted, you are no longer an employee of this organization.
I understand.
All right, guys. Well, that was my assignment that I had to do for my food service class, and that was ridiculously hard to get through. And, you know, now I'm experienced. And so someday I'm a manager. Maybe I'll be able to fire somebody. So I don't know. But that is the type of assignments that we're doing. That is the type. And so now that that's done, I am about to go on a run. That is why I've done a little quick change. I'm about to go and do a little workout today since I had to get to work so early this morning. And so now I'm going to do that this afternoon and try to get done before the sun sets because it is so dark outside so early. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video and I hope y'all enjoyed following along. I hope you got some useful information out of it. Maybe you're about to start your food service and it may look different than mine, but that's kind of the gist of what it looks like. And also I forgot to mention, I know that for some dietetic internships, you like match with specific programs, like or specific facilities, and my program doesn't do that. I'm in a coordinated program, and so we get assigned the hospital that we go to, so I didn't get to choose or anything, but I love the hospital that I'm at, and I think that anywhere you're at, you can make it a good time. So yeah, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and bye!